So, all right, yeah. Well, thank you, Kim, for the prayer, and let's go ahead and get going for today. We're welcome everybody. This is a special member circle. We do these things every month for CCW members, but this one we're doing a special one, opening up to opening up to non-members as well, because we have some amazing faculty today for the CCW summer conference, which I'll introduce, or I'll let them introduce themselves in a little bit, and they're going to share about themselves and about some tips, and we're going to have some questions and answers. And so everybody on here, feel free to just be thinking about your various questions. There's people are from many walks of life and many different types of careers. And so you can ask questions about the conference. You can ask questions about specifically about writing or publishing or editing, really anything you want today. This is kind of an open-ended thing for to help you guys out for just being prepared for the conference. And so we're very excited. Today is the last day to register for our summer conference. We actually it was going to be the 31st, but we fought. We were like, okay, we need to keep it open for this meeting because it's like we're having this amazing time, and so Christina said we can't do it any later than tonight. So this is the last little bit. So feel free to put the link in the chat on how to register. It's cascadechristianwriters.org if you want to register for the conference. But yeah, Amy, do you want to go ahead and just kind of share with a little bit about the conference and just kind of, so Amy is a assistant director to the Cascade Summer Conference, and feel free to tell us about it before I introduce the staff. Yeah.
Yeah, sounds good. Thanks, Jesse.
Yeah.
Um, I am excited. It's been about a year of looking ahead, looking forward to this, planning, and you can always expect something remarkable to happen at these summer conferences. The one-day conferences are excellent too, so please come to those or participate in those. But there's something special about the summer one. It brings together people who become like family and become like a community, and you find your people there. So I've been going to CCW conferences for about 5 years now, and right away I felt at home the first time I went. And so if you're kind of trying to decide if you want to go or not, I'd say yes for you because it's just a time that you're not going to forget easily, and you're going to want to return after that and make an effort to come back. We've got excellent speakers lined up. Cher Gatto, I'm so excited to have her keynoting. She's here tonight, and she's going to be a blessing, you guys. Her heart for the Lord and just and is evident in her writing, and she has stories to tell, and you're not going to want to miss it. Excellent teaching ahead for us. Beautiful Canby Grove. It's a beautiful location in the woods along the river. Please be there. We're gonna have a lot of fun. So I will put a link to the registration in the chat here in a second so that you can have
I did that
access to that. Oh,
actually.
you did. You did. Okay,
Yes.
I missed that. Okay, so great. Jesse is prepared and has that in the chat. Yep, I see it now. So are there any questions? I guess I'll just throw that out there. Do you have any questions about the conference? Maybe you are going, and I know some of the faculty tonight are going to share some, but are there any specific questions that you might have right now?
Yeah, specific questions to like maybe for Amy as far as like logistics or
Right.
those kind of things, because we'll get into like craft and all that kind of
Yes.
fun stuff with the faculty, but like things that are specifically about like the conference itself, how to get there, registration, all that fun stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to know if the bridge is going to be back open.
Todd, I have no idea, but I sure do hope so. Yeah, last year they sent us on a detour and nobody was really expecting
Mm.
it. And some people, they're like, where is this thing? Is this thing even existing? Like, what? Where are you sending me? So hopefully that's not the case. I haven't checked out the roads at all. I didn't think about it till now, but I'm sure a year later it's got to be clear and good, right?
Yeah.
That's a good question, though, Todd. Todd's going to be teaching on children's publishing. It's going to be an excellent coaching class. So if you're a children's writer, you're definitely going to want to go to that one.
Jacqueline Dodson here. I'm just questioning whether is there a list of the like not registration, but a menu of what how when different events are going to happen?
A schedule.
Yes, that's a good one.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do have a schedule. It has not been sent out, so I'll be asking Christina, the director, about when we'd like to send that out. I know we will have a copy available for everybody when they get there, and so you will know. You will find out. But I'll see, Jacqueline, if it's possible to get a copy to everybody beforehand, because
We
I
have
know
something
it's
on the
nice to be
website. I
prepared.
don't know if that's the
Is
right
the link
one.
on the website to the
Mhm.
schedule? Well, there
Yeah.
you go.
Well, let me,
Okay.
I'll post it.
Thank you.
Again, CasketChristianWriters.org, and there's
Hmm.
some links there. I don't know if you want to click on this one, Amy, to see if it's even the right schedule, but there's a
It
schedule
looks
on
like the
there.
right link.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it. Yes. Yeah.
Uh, And so, as far as you can raise your hand, I see Mark, you're raising your hand. You can either raise your hand physically on the screen, or you can do that fancy dancy uh, little reactions down at the bottom where you can actually click and react and actually raise your hand like this. It actually makes you go right to the front, which is really nice. If you have any more questions for Amy, uh, Mark, do you have something?
Yeah, I just want to encourage Amy that you're doing a really good job
Thank you.
on this all the administrative stuff, all the leadership stuff, all the coordination and things. So I just want to make a note because I've received some information back from you, and so
I appreciate it, Mark. Thank you.
And I think Joy has in the chat here. If there's a cost breakdown, and yeah, I believe the cost breakdown will be also on the website. So it's CasketChristianWriters.org, and I can put in the chat again. There's the cost for the conference itself is at the bottom. And then and then you also pay, there's lodging prices as well. There's a link to the lodging prices, and there's the various different options. Yeah.
And when you go to the registration link, yeah, I will list all of that as well as you're walking through the registration.
Anything else for Amy? Well, you feel free to stay on, Amy, in case anybody has any
Oh, yeah.
logistic
I'm
questions and
here. I want to hear
such.
what
And
everybody has to
yeah.
say.
And if you want to put it in the chat as well, yeah, I see Teresa, you have a question too, but feel free to put things in the chat and we can kind of answer things as we go too. But yeah, Teresa, what do you got?
Um, so I see on Wednesday they have the brunch at 11:30. And then do we go home after that? Is that what we do? Okay.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, so that's the
Okay.
end of the conference. So the brunch is available for anybody who's just staying to pack things up. A lot of people end up needing to fly out if they're from out of state or take off earlier in Wednesday morning. That's very common to see people just start to leave, and so you won't see as many people at the brunch, but it is available. You could just eat and then leave after. We do have a certain time to be out of the facility because then they bring in the next group. Canby Grove does, and so I think we have till like 12 or something like that. But people will be gone before then, so
Okay.
that's kind of the end of the conference. Good question.
You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. So
Well, I
was
was
there?
just trying to work out my schedule and get my dog in
Oh,
doggy daycare and pick up and drop off all that. So
that makes sense. There was another hand that went up, or I think I saw another hand. Any questions for Amy? Logistics or great. Well, awesome. So yeah, now we can go ahead and bring on the amazing faculty. And so I was considering highlighting you guys. But I think we actually have more than I thought, and it might be kind of fun just to kind of have the gallery view. I don't know. I think that's fun to see everybody. If you can actually click on people's names if you wanted to, or you can actually go to speaker view if you want to see the actual speaker talking. There's a upper right hand corner. You can actually click on your speaker view yourself to see people if you want to. But I think it's fun that we're all just kind of gallery here. So let's just start with the main questions that I was going to have each faculty answer. Is just kind of start with yourself, kind of who you are, your role at the conference, and then just maybe one tip for people attending the writers conference. And so we'll start with I think my first on my list here we have Linda. I don't know if you want to kick us off and just and then we'll go down the list.
Sure. My name is Linda Hartwig, and this is actually my first writers' conference. I've taught in a classical format for years, 13 years. Um, and so, as far as a tip, I'll start with that. A tip would be sure you take time to reflect instead of just the fire hose kind of a thing that will take place. Take time to reflect. You need that time. What I will be teaching on in my workshop is how to ask good questions. So Jesus not only told stories, he also asked questions. And so that is how he drew people towards truth through his storytelling, but also his questions. And so I'm looking forward to sharing those tips with you so that your readers, after they finished your story, will still keep engaging with what truths you wanted to pass on. And I
Awesome.
think that's all I needed to say.
Yeah, great. And we'll have plenty of time to answer other questions too, but that's awesome, Linda. Thank you. Next on my list, I have Leanne. Do you want to share about yourself?
Sure. Hi, I'm Leanne Barna. I've been coming to writers' conferences for decades now. This is my third time at Cascade, and it really is a beautiful and amazing conference. Um, I am teaching the screenwriting. I can't remember what the block is called, where it's the few days of it, but
Oh, the mentorship. Yeah,
the
for
mentorship. So I am teaching
our coaching
screenwriting
class.
over that time. I have a background at Disney and NBC and different places. Um, my writer's tip would be I'm goofy, but I'm like a serious introvert. And the first 10 years I was coming to writers' conferences when I was a failed children's book writer and trying to find my place in life in the writing world. I would come, I would sit, and I would go home, and I was scared to talk to anybody like I was bothering them. But that once I started being on faculties and things, I'm like, why was I so ridiculous? This is what we're here for. That, it's a short amount of time. Bring it on. So just do not be nervous. Talk to the faculty. We that's what we're here to do. And um yeah, I wasted so many years sitting quietly instead of talking to people because I was too scared to do it. And it's silly. So
Thank you, Leanne. Yeah, her is going to be amazing. So yeah, check it out. And that's called I think that's called the coaching court track, right? Amy, I got them confused a little bit. Yeah. So
Coaching class. Close
coaching
enough.
class. That's right. The multi-day one. Yeah. So this is good.
Yeah.
And somebody else also teaching a coaching one is Todd. How about you go next, Todd?
Okay, my name's Todd McMillan. The J is for Jeffrey. If you're a parent, don't mess with your kids' names. It produces weird things your whole life. If you've ever experienced that.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, this will be my fifth conference with the Cascade Christian Writers. In 2022, the Lord decided He was going to end my 28-year engineering career at a local high tech, and I was getting ready to go on Indeed and get another job. My wife says, "You have always wanted to get seriously into your writing, so I think you should do it." So she went out and got a full-time job, and so I got a nice sugar mama that's helped me make it through this.
Huh?
I have self-published 9 books now and getting ready to release my 10th. And suggestions for the conference. get to the chow hall early because some of these lunkheads, they are slow and they pile the plates up. You might just get stuck eating rice. So, but seriously, then once you're at the cafeteria, so I'm kind of a closet introvert. I can be extroverted, but sometimes in a crowd, I can tend to want to isolate. So, oh, there's an empty table way there in the back. But I realized, why am I here if I'm going to do that? I could do that at home.
Yeah.
And so I'll take opportunities to do something that, like, one of my best times at a meal was at dinner one time. I sat down right in the middle of five white-haired ladies, and it was a hoot. If any of you know LaDonna Shanks, just made a fantastic relationship there that's lasted a couple of years now. So I would say, if you are introverted, try to get outside your shell and use this as the opportunity to make connections, to network, to just get out beyond yourself. I mean, it takes good money, and a lot of effort to go to these conferences. Don't let it be wasted.
Hmm.
Oh, one comment. Uh, Amy mentioned the class, so I'm giving it. It's a part one, part two class on self-publishing your children's illustrated book. The reason it's two parts is because it's much too much for one. But I got weird, ended up getting kind of weirdly scheduled for a single hour on Sunday, which didn't work with that format. So it's about self-publishing, but it's the part two of the children's illustrated goes about this deep into getting it self-published through. I use KDP. There's a lot of them out there, right? So what I did was the Sunday one, I forget the exact time, it's like 12:45 or something. That's 1 hour. It's highly focused on the process of starting up your publishing account. I use KDP, but the flow is very similar with all the different Ingram Spark, Lulu, whoever you want to use. So just a little primer there. It'll be very specific on the steps at starting up your own self-publishing through KDP, how to set up the account, all the different steps it takes to upload and publish the book, but none of the logistics of actually the creation of the book. So it's a little bit different than the other two.
Hmm. Great. And it's very good. I went to his class before, and if you're doing children's books, he is a wealth of knowledge. And they're not easy. I mean, I have a few clients who do children's books and had to learn a lot. I don't do children's books yet, but I had to learn a lot. I had to ask him a lot of questions. And so yeah, he's a good wealth of knowledge.
Thank you.
Um, yeah, you're welcome. Okay, so we have Candy and Kendi. So we'll have Candy first and then Kendi second. Yeah.
Okay, I think that was me.
Yes.
I'm Candy J. Wyatt, and wow, I've been published for 10 years and write family-friendly fantasy that brings light and hope into the world. And my two different classes, I'll be co-teaching with Karen Grunst, world building, and then the other one on my own will be on character development and how to bring them to life. So I'm excited. This is my first time actually teaching at a conference. I've been attending various ones for the last 10 years, and um, but have been a teacher for what, 18 years or so in the public school. So getting in front of adults is a little bit different than getting in front of kids for this introvert. But I'm excited to go ahead and share what I've learned. And as far as tips for conferences, um, I'm going to share two because they haven't been taken yet. So the first one is wear layers because even though we are in the Pacific Northwest, still they tend to use like air conditionings and it's so difficult to get a room just perfect for everyone. So make sure that you have something you can take off or put on, depending on which route, and then have a journal, something that you can go back, that you can write your notes in. Yeah, try to make it legible, or uh, later on go back through and type them up. But that way you're able to gather together that information. And I can go back over the years and I can pull up notes. In fact, I did that for my character class, where I went back to some of Donald Moss's classes that I've had, and I pulled up the notes that I wrote down, and I'm going to incorporate those into it.
Perfect. Thank you for those. Okay, Candy. I think you're muted. There you go.
Hi, I'm Candy Pearson. I retired from teaching in Christian high schools. I did that for over 25 years and started writing back in 2013 is when I joined what was then OCW. And anyway, after 5 years with a traditional, literary agent and so forth, I decided to go ahead and break off on my own. And I'm teaching a workshop called "Don't Just Self-Publish When You Can Publish Like a Pro." So it's for people who want to go a step further, or maybe they've been in traditional publishing and they want to make sure that everything works kind of the same way, the same wide distribution, the same marketing opportunities, kind of tips about record keeping is a nightmare. Record keeping is so important. Using Project Manager, taking care of your accounting and all the little nuts and bolts of running an indie publishing business, and tips on how to make your work look professional and basically acting like a traditional publisher on a smaller scale, but you've got good quality products. I'm also acquiring books for Pear Blossom Books, which is my fledgling endeavor to bear fruit. When I had to retire from teaching school, I was like, "Oh Lord, now what? Now what do I do? I got to bear fruit. I've got to bear fruit." And I'm a fan of the verse in the Old Testament that says that you will bear fruit in your old age. Well, guess what? I'm there. So, anyway, yeah, so yeah, I started out with just freelance writing before I started writing books and so forth. And um I don't know what else you want to know.
Tips?
I'll take questions or but yeah, I'm interested in publishing more books by other people. I've only done one other author thus far. That book came out the end of last year. I have another two authors that I'm publishing next year with historical fiction. And I have several imprints that I've created. So I'm kind of trying to head in that direction so that we can kind of form a team for Pear Blossom Books and just to be fruitful, just to get things out there because Cascade Christian Writers has a lot of really wonderful writers, a lot of wonderful writers a lot of them are sitting around frustrated because they've been trying so hard to break into traditional publishing and anyway, it's kind of a tough world out there. God gives us gifts, and if we want to be fruitful, we got to get them in front of other people, right? So
Mhm.
that's kind of where I'm at. So I'm hoping that people will come to me with their ideas or a proposal or what they have, or just ask questions if they don't want to completely go it on their own.
Okay. I have a question, Candy.
Yes.
You do,
Yes.
yes,
Okay, so at first I thought you were talking about just self-publishing, but you're doing self-publishing, but also you're helping other authors to self-publish.
yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
awesome.
yeah. They would come under my publishing name, Pear Blossom Books, and yeah. So
Okay,
it's
well, there's the power of networking because I'm going to be one of the goals in this class that I'm teaching on self-publishing is to help authors decide if they want to go this route because it's a lot,
mhm.
it's a lot of work, right? So
It
if
is a
at the
lot of work.
A lot of
so
work.
here's the power of networking during my class. I'll recommend, hey, if at the end of the day through this teaching you decide this is too much for me to handle, this is not the way my
Mhm.
brain works, why don't you go talk to
Yeah.
Kendi?
Yeah. There you go.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, and she did a great job with the person that she's referred to. I know her as well, so well done, Candy. Yeah, so we have Cher next. So yeah,
Hi.
the amazing Cher.
Ah, thank you. I'm so excited to meet all of you guys. This is fantastic. And Amy, to finally officially meet you. Amy reached out to me back in January, was it?
I think so. It was
Somewhere like
January.
that. Yeah, and I am just so honored that you guys would trust me with keynoting. This is amazing. And the Lord is just like laying a lot on my heart. I've been going through what I'm teaching and I've been crying a lot. So like that's like, oh, that heartfelt stuff that the Lord is doing. So that's really awesome. And my room looks so darker, so dark than everybody else because I'm on the East Coast. And so it's 9:37 here now, way past my bedtime. And so when I come see you guys and I do that first keynote on Sunday night, if I am saying nothing that makes sense, just put me to bed and tell me that we'll talk tomorrow or something. It's going to be a whirlwind. But I am so excited to see you guys and meet you guys all in person. Conferences to me are just such a precious time. I mean, I feel like it's tough sometimes to go to a conference because you're getting so much information and you have so many expectations on yourself, I think, especially if you're pitching. That's like I don't know if you guys are pitching. Are you guys pitching, Amy, at
Yeah.
this one?
Yep.
Um,
There are some opportunities.
yeah, so that can be really intimidating and overwhelming. And I guess for me, like I would encourage you guys to just be yourself because that's like I think that's even more important than what we write per se, is just being passionate about your story. And I know it's really hard sometimes for us. I know I struggle when somebody says, "What do you write?" That's like the question that just stumps me. I don't know why. And I stumble over it all the time. And yet I know what I write and why I write. It just takes me off guard. So I would say, just remember if you are pitching, that the person that you're pitching to has to turn around and sell it to their publishing board. And so if you have a hard time explaining what your story's about, they're going to have a hard time championing that, right? And so I loved I don't know if you guys know Steve Lobby, but he's one of the like big agents, right? And I remember he said something that really stuck with me. He said, when somebody asks you, what's your story about? They're not actually asking you for the plot line. They're asking you, how is your story going to impact me? Like, how is your story going to move me? And so just, yeah, wrestle with that question a little bit. Because if you pitch and you can get that off, then you're further down the road. So I'm doing a double also, like Todd, I think said, right? That two-part series because it's really hard to get it into one workshop. So I'm going to be talking about the art of the unsaid, and that's understanding subtext, a deep dive into subtext. And I've taught that at several conferences. I taught it in September at the ACFW conference, and it was really just a great, it's just a great thing to wrestle with. We all, as writers, wrestle with subtext. And so I mean, we could talk about that for years and just get into the subject, but I'm excited to be talking about that with you guys. So if you're not going yet, sign up for the conference
Yeah.
because it really is a very special time and you will be fully blessed by being there.
You heard it from her, folks. Sign up if you haven't going yet. It's our shameless plug. Come on, hang out with us. But that reminds me, thank you, Cher. That reminds me, Amy, of a question that was earlier about the late night stuff. Thank you for staying up so late with us, Cher. Are we doing the s'mores and what was the other question? The pajama thing? What was the question that
Yeah,
someone
I
was
think
asking?
Karen Barnett was asking that, like the s'mores that we've done after the keynote presentation late at night. Yes, that is on the schedule. So we are doing that, I believe, 2 nights. Yeah, and then the other night is going to be an AI panel discussion or some kind of discussion with AI, and one of the other nights. So s'mores a couple nights and artificial intelligence the other night.
The two extremes of
Yes, exactly. Right. You get to choose. No. Yes, so that will be really fun. And then also on the schedule, it kind of puts on there, like, I realized there was a typo, like, we need to take off the crafts part because we're not doing crafts this year. We have done that in the past, but we are having our lovely Karen Barnett give us a walking tour of the facilities to be able to see trees in the forest, and maybe she'll talk more about that. But yes, it's going to be exciting, and I believe that Ranger Bear may be involved as well.
awesome. Yeah, there are trees at where we're going, which is amazing. And that's a good segue because you're next on my list. So Karen, so tell us about kind of who you are and what you're doing, and yeah.
Sometimes I forget how many hats I wear at conference. So I'd kind of forgotten about that one in terms of talking about what I do at conference. Yeah, so I'm Karen Barnett, and I am a writer. I write historical fiction, and I do dual timeline fiction also. So modern, or two storylines mixed, two timelines mixed together. And I just published my 10th book this past year. So I've been at CCW since about 2009. So I'm starting to feel like a dinosaur. I was just telling someone that today. I was telling Candy that today. I feel like a dinosaur because it feels like publishing is changing so fast right now. And when we started, this is how it was done, and this is how it's, everything is in the process of changing. So it's been interesting. My role at the conference. So I'm doing a bunch of different things. I am up until the conference, I've been focusing on development for CCW, so inviting sponsors and vendors to come and help out with our organization, and then we'll provide great resources for our conferees. So we've carefully picked some that I think you're going to be really excited about. Athena Dean Holtz is here with us tonight, and hopefully she'll get a minute to talk about Redemption Press and what they offer for writers. And then also Sandra Barella is not here tonight, but she's with Celebrate Lit, which does promotion work for books. So if you have books that you just can't seem to get anyone to pay attention to, and you need a little promotional help, that is a good company to look into. So they'll have tables in the back of Mount Hood, and you can stop by and talk with them about their offerings. So I'm super excited. That's a new thing this year, and I'm really excited about that. Also, I am teaching 2 workshops. I am both on fiction craft. One is called Story Threads, Seat of the Pants Writing. And I designed this class because I am a seat of the pants writer, and it seemed like every class offered at conferences was all about outlining. And I cannot outline, or I can outline, but then I can't write the book because I no longer care. The story's been ruined for me. So for those of you that are interested in a class about how to write by the seat of your pants and still get the book done, or if you are just learning, you're just starting out writing and you don't really know what kind of writer you are yet and you want to explore this, you can come to that class and see what seat of the pants writing is about and why it's not wrong. And then my other workshop is Common Fiction Mistakes That Will Hold Your Manuscript Back. So I do a lot of, I've done mentoring in the past. I've judged for the Cascades many years in a row. And I see a lot of beginning writers or writers that just aren't quite ready for publication yet. And I see some common things that people do over and over that are what editors and agents are. This is what's going to stop an editor or agent from picking up your book. So, and some ways that you can fix these things. So just like 10 or 11 common things that I see in fiction manuscripts that you can fix to get your book ready for publication. And then, let's see. Yes, I'm doing a nature walk with Ranger Bear. So I'm a former park ranger. I used to work at Mount Rainier National Park. And then I also worked at Oregon's Silver Falls State Park, and I really enjoy helping people discover the nature here in the Northwest. And so we can talk about trees and plants and wildlife. And it's not going to be a long, grueling hike. That is not what I do. I like to saunter and look at stuff and take pictures. So if that appeals to you, I hope you'll join us for that. It's on the schedule. I don't know exactly when it's happening, but it's on the schedule. I am also helping Kendi with worship. Kendi Pearson and I and Sherry Langton will be doing morning worship And I'm not sure who's doing evening worship. I'm hoping it's Aaron again. Amy's nodding.
Yes,
Good,
it's
because
Aaron. Yeah.
we love Aaron. And then Kendi and I cover it in the morning, so we can have it at both ends of the day, which starting and ending in worship, I love that. And then tips for conference. I wrote a couple down. I'm going to choose this top one, which is a lot of times we come to conference with a whole list of important people that we want to talk to. We want to talk to an editor, we want to talk to an agent, we want to talk to a marketer, we want to meet this author and that author that we just love. And sometimes we get so tunnel vision on the important people that we don't stop to think about everyone else that we are seeing around the conference. And I really want to encourage you to not just reach out to faculty, but to also get to know your peers in your writing group, because these are the folks that are going to be your critique partners. They're going to be your launch team members. They're going to be your prayer partners, and they're going to be your cheerleaders. And I have met all of my critique partners, including Amy, at it's all been at CCW. And so it's just a really great place to connect with people and get to know other writers. Like Amy said, you're going to get to know your people here. So make sure and get to know all the people, not just the ones you think are really important.
Awesome. Thank you, Karen.
Cover it.
Is that it? Is that it? That's all you got?
That's all I got.
That's all you got.
Well,
Well,
she
yeah,
is
let's
also
go.
our resident photographer.
That's right. That's right. Which, by the way, we do actually also have a photographer as well. That I mean, so Karen does you do like kind of the pictures
Well,
for the.
this
Go ahead.
year, Candy's husband, Eric, is actually covering all the photography.
Yeah,
So you can still sign up for professional shots, and he's excellent at his work, what he does. And then he's also going to be taking pictures during the conference. So we're excited that Eric can join as well.
perfect. And so since she did call out Athena, do you want to share as well? Just kind of Athena, just like thank you by the way for sponsoring our conference, and just you want to share a little bit about just kind of yeah, who you are, what you do, and just kind of any tips that you may have as well.
Sure. So I'm Athena Dean Holtz. I'm the founder and publisher at Redemption Press. I have been in Christian publishing for 40 years, and I've made every mistake you could possibly make. So that is always my goal, is to make sure if I'm coaching someone or helping them navigate any sort of publishing or marketing, that they learn from my mistakes and don't make the same ones. I am so my husband's going to be with me. He has been writing for many years. He was a pastor for 50 years, so he wrote a sermon every week for 50 years. And but he's a real encourager, and we're going to just do some one-on-ones. I love meeting aspiring authors who have an idea, but maybe they don't really know quite how they're gonna, what genre, or want some clarity on that. So I love to brainstorm on things like that. And I would love to hear any pitches that are out there. And we do pretty much every genre except for horror. So that's pretty easy to figure out. And we just actually came back from Blue Ridge as well, and had I think 8 winners, and 8 of our authors that won. We had 14 that finaled, and so it's been fun. We've had a few Cascade winners in the past. I think we'll send a few more that are unpublished, because that's the difference. Is your contest is unpublished, and only part of the CELA Awards is unpublished, the Foundation Awards. But I would say, if I was going to give a tip, and I guess I'm going to be on the panel too, right? Okay, so I'm doing those 2 things. This was a little last minute thing. I'm actually flying in from Right to Publish at Wheaton College the day before we have to drive down to Oregon. So I'm up in Enumclaw, Washington, at the base of Mount Rainier. I should have said that. But my tip would be, um, well, first it's a question. How many of you have ever kind of had that narrative going around in your head? Who do you think you are to write a book? No one wants to really read what, no one is interested. No one's going to buy your book. Someone's already said this. Someone's already written this. Just, it's not a good idea. It's amazing how often that is the same line the enemy uses to try and shut us down and keep us from pursuing what God has called us to do. So, my tip is don't listen to that because, you know, you'll find out as you carry on and really find your way, however, the way God is leading you. Um, that was not a voice worthy of listening to and trusting. So
Thank you, Athena.
you bet.
Fantastic tips. And yes, and so we have a few more faculty actually. I see your hand there, Lynn, but feel free also to be putting questions in the chat. Lynn, do you have a question or a comment to our Athena or kind of a general question about the conference? I think she might be frozen. So yeah, so yeah, if you have any questions, oh, she left. So if you have any questions about kind of the conference, we're going to do that in a little bit. Think about your questions to ask these amazing people. We actually have two more faculty. So Janet, welcome, and yeah, would like to kind of share about who you are and just kind of what you're doing and any tips you have.
Absolutely. Really thrilled to be coming on as faculty this year for the Cascade Conference. I've been writing for the Christian publishing industry for 40 years. Athena and I go way back.
Yes, you
I've,
do.
I've written a lot of short form, thousands of articles, blogs, devotions over the years, and I've had 27 books published traditionally and in 8 different genres. So that I think I have the ability to teach writers how to break down form, especially nonfiction. And I will be teaching a track, a 5-hour track called Build It, Structuring Your Nonfiction Book. That will include information about how to structure 5 different nonfiction genres, including Christian living, Bible studies, devotionals, gift books, and memoir. And the also be teaching how do you put a chapter together, and we're going to be looking at the Christian living form for that specifically. That's a hands-on kind of workshop. I'll be teaching about how to create a proposal from the ground up, so that you have something to show an agent or a traditional editor. And then we'll be doing a storyboarding activity. So looking forward to that a lot. And I live in Northern California, in the Sierra Valley, the northeast corner of California, where my husband is a cattle rancher and I'm a former high school English teacher. And I would say that my tip for you in the conference is to perhaps do something that I do at writers' conferences somewhere in my notebook or my notes in some way. I'll have a to-do list. I'll have one list that says buy these books, and then I'll have another list that says to do. And so I write down things that, like, I need to contact so and so, I need to write back and thank someone, I need to send a proposal to, I need to get this one sheet done to pitch whatever. And then when I get home, because when you get home, you're a little overwhelmed, you're probably tired. But I try usually after conferences to jump right in the very couple days after that and to start checking things off that list so that my investment in the conference is not wasted and that something productive can come out of that, even if that's simply connections with other writers I've learned to meet and grow to love.
Awesome. Yes, I'm so excited. Thank you, Janet. And I
So when
think,
I do
go
some
ahead.
work for Athena.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
teach their Writing Wise program. So I teach twice a month on writing form, and I do group coaching for them as well. So it's my little side job.
There you
Mhm.
go.
And can I just say
You
that
may.
the sticky note thing that you do that she's going to do there, She did that at one of our retreats, and the one of the women that she worked with ended up winning a CELA award in the Christian life genre, and she
Wow.
was #1 in that category. So she definitely is a great coach.
Fantastic. Thank you. And I think that that's it. Any other faculty? Okay, well, I can share it. I am also a faculty this year as well. So I becoming co-director or sorry, co to the director next year. As those who were joking about that, but this year I am teaching a coaching class as well as a workshop. But yeah, I'm Jesse. I've been actually writing for 30 years now. I've started young, published 10 books and created multiple courses and. I also do help. I have my own self-publishing company myself. I helped hundreds of clients self-publish their books, and from all the way from I love developmental editing as well. I lead anthologies, branding, marketing, platform building, all that stuff to help people publish their own books. And yeah, take care, Janet. I'm sorry to have you leave, but I understand you have your blessing to leave. But yeah, so my heart is to build a community around authors, just like many people are saying that it's hard to go out to yourself. I am actually have a visibility club that I run to help people market and doing I have a book launching course that I have all this fun stuff, and so I love bringing people together. And so what I'm doing at the conference is I'm actually doing a Heart of Branding workshop with Kara and Marilyn. Those of you know Kara Grandel, she's a publicist, and Marilyn has been in plenty of book launches. And so we're doing a 1 hour workshop on just the heart of what it means to be to brand yourself. It's not as scary as you think. You don't have to be a used car salesman. That's what we're doing. Also, I'm doing a life theme coaching course too. That's the 5 hour thing in the mornings. It's more of like a those who want to come and just have a nice retreat. We do a retreat each year where it's low stakes. You can come and mostly write. But one thing, part of branding, what I love is just helping people find their life theme. And so I'll have a few questions at the beginning and the end of it, but there's plenty of time to do your own writing think about the questions. We'll come back together and talk about it for those who want to. But that's kind of what I do. It's the low stakes. It's kind of part of my personality and marketing. It's just low stakes. It's kind of be yourself, authentic. And I'm also mentoring. So if I have slots to sign up for there. I love people building to help them build platform, be seen, self-publishing, all that stuff. That's what I love doing. I've been doing it for about 10 years now. So my tip though is I'd say I always say connections over contracts. And if people are saying that don't come to try to don't try to come to sell yourself. It's really stressful coming to conferences if you're like, I gotta do this, I gotta meet that one person to sell myself. No, you just come to meet people and the door is open. There's actually I think there's two tips for success is um, I think my mentor Jim says the rules change whenever people like you, and so it just kind of just be yourself. Just just find people that you're in your corner that people like you. And then you also have to be good. So if people open the doors if they like you, but then you also hone your craft and all that and be good. So just be authentically you and just grow and be yourself. So. Yep, that's my tip. So, we have a good half an hour left. So feel free to again put things in the chat. Any questions? I mean, I have some questions myself for these amazing staff, faculty, for those who want to answer. But if you have any questions for anybody in particular, feel free to put it in the chat, and we can just kind of popcorn this thing, right? So if
Can
there's no,
I
yeah, go ahead.
can I interject? I forgot to give a tip.
Oh yeah,
So this
give a
this is
tip.
my very well thought out tip is you're camping, so just bring a hat. Don't worry about your hair and stick it up in a hat. That's my tip.
Yeah, that's
Takes a
good.
lot of stress off. Yeah.
Yes.
So
And just yeah,
okay.
have fun. And a lot of connections made around the
Thank
yeah, Todd.
goodness. Thank you, Candy.
Okay, this is a
I
good
wasn't
question. Um, I love this, Karen. So perfect. Starting at when should you start trying to find an agent? And again, faculty, anybody wants to answer, I mean, you can raise your hand if you want to, or just start talking. I mean, we're a family here. So when should you start trying to find an agent?
I'll start the conversation on that. I have watched over the years it get harder and harder. Used to didn't have to have an agent. You could go direct to a publisher, but now they want the agents to do their screening for them. And so an agent isn't going to take someone on that they don't think they can pitch and actually present in to a publisher something that they're looking for and that they would want. And so I always feel like people that are new to publishing and to Christian writing need to know, so you don't take it personal, that most agents, if you don't have a huge following, like minimum 10 or 20,000, usually more like some of the bigger agents, they want 40, 50,000 followers. And when I say followers, that's not just like a bunch of people that are, you know, you see it on your Facebook, but then no one's commenting, no one's sharing, there's no interaction. That's what they want to see, is that you are influencing a group of people that want to hear from you, that you've got interaction, and they can sell that to a publisher. Where if you don't have that, I'm not, and that's not a blanket statement, because there are times when they're looking for something and you have exactly what they're looking for. And so to fill a slot for a topic. So I'm not saying it never happens, but I just think sometimes we need to work on building our brand and building our message and building our following and our platform in obedience to what God is asking us to do. I think sometimes we try and think we need to get an agent right away before we're ever ready. So my tip on that is, if you're going to want to meet agents, just do it to get to know them so they can get to know you, create some relationships without having an expectation that they're going to sign you right away.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
Well said. Anybody else want to respond to that? Any faculty?
I would say that the need for a huge platform is a little less of an issue for fiction writers. Just so if you're a fiction writer, don't panic if you don't have those kind of numbers. That's more on the nonfiction end of things, but it still helps.
It still helps, and yeah, that's so true. It's I mean, and honestly, we're seeing. I mean, I do a lot of uh, platform and stuff, and I'm seeing that actually, it's social media is, and the good news is kind of on the way down in some ways. It's becoming very uh, uh, saturated. So sometimes it's now just a place to hang out now. But for fiction writers, writing books is the best, as well as podcasts. So just keep writing. But yeah,
Can I ask another question that's similar to that?
I'll allow it.
Um, so I know a gal who she had an agent. It didn't go well. And so she dropped her and now she's self-published. And I don't think she has an agent at all. She's marketing herself. She's doing all of it herself. So, I mean, are there some people that don't have agents and are just doing it themselves? I was curious on that.
Yeah, Candy.
Yeah, I started out with a small publishing house. It kind of did it as a royalty share where different people would come together, and it lasted for a year. Um, that breakup time was 1 month to try to get everything back and organized, and I went indie from there. I have never had an agent. And when I learned what the actual process was to go to traditionally published, I was kind of just floored that somehow God put me in the right place to get started how he did. Because I don't think I would have had the courage to be able to say, oh, those stories I wrote for my kids, other kids would like to listen and read as well. I didn't have the confidence until I got that little bit of here, yeah. And then it was like, well, we're in the middle of a series. We might as well just keep going. So yeah, there are a lot of indies out there. Um, and as Todd, I think it was saying that he's indie published as well, but there's a lot of learning curve that goes with that.
It's a lot. Yeah. Long journey. We need each other. Okay, so Tina, I see your hand. I want to see Kim's questions in the chat first. And so Kim asked, how important are review numbers for future publications? Anybody want
Important.
to report? Okay.
Yeah. And Amazon has gotten harder and harder. They've like upped their like what they won't allow. So it can't be friends of yours. I mean, it really has to be true. Um, oh, what's the word?
Organic.
Organic. Thank you. Yes, it has to be organic, and it has to be. I mean, it can't just be your friends and family and your relatives that go on there and say, "I'm so proud of my daughter." And I mean, they won't take those reviews. So they have to be legitimate reviews. And I think you, I would say shoot for 50, shoot for 100, but I would, 50 would be where you just really zero in on to get there. And then, but it's hard.
Important. Yeah. Okay. Tina.
So I just want to say that conferences, this is a success story. I went to conference last year. I had only gone to a single retreat. I think it was a 1 day um, Christian Writers Conference. And then I went to the conference last year. And I met with a number of the publishers that were there and pitched my book. And I was so fortunate to have Jan Daly, who helped me and kind of went to bat for me and got me into Elk Lake Publishing, where I found somebody who would read my story, query, whatever you want to call it, a pitch that I gave. And they picked up my book, and I will be getting it published at some point in time. So I will just say that Christian Writer Conference Cascade Christian Writers Conference was an exceptional um, situation for me. I loved every minute. I went with my friend Emily, and she worked out something with somebody that was there too. And I can't begin to say how I loved meeting the people there. And the gentleman that was on there that said, talk to people that were there. I talked to so many people, I don't remember all their names. I would remember their faces if I went back. But it was such a wonderful time for me I never get that positive, except for my sisters. I never get that real positive feedback from people, um, except for reviews and things on my books. But it was an absolute gem to be able to get a feedback from a publisher that, yes, your storyline is good. We are interested in it. Tell me more. Send me a couple chapters. And, it was so wonderful. I can't begin to say that. And then I got in with Jesse and even referred him to a friend of mine who needed some help. And that's worked out really good. Neil has just got
Oh,
all good things to say about Jesse.
oh, I love Neil. Yeah.
So it's this is a great conference. I wish I could be there.
Yes. Wish you could be there too. So sad. All right. Any other questions? I have some questions I can ask, but you have a question, Mark?
Yes, sir. Miss Athena,
Yes.
why would a potential author want to go with with the services that your company provides?
Um, well, we are well known in the industry for excellence in publishing and design, marketing. We don't just kind of just take whatever you give us and publish it. We don't take everyone. We vet our authors and make sure that we're a good fit for each other. And we want to work with authors that are teachable and want to improve whatever writing they're doing. Because these days, anyone can go to Amazon and upload a file and say, I'm an author. And there's no one there to say, wait, you're not ready. And so I think the heart behind what we do is we're just willing to say, this needs work
Yeah.
instead of just letting you, just throw it out there. And, and I say that because I did that 30 years ago. I did not have editing. I wrote it like I talked, and I thought that was good enough. And, I ended up learning how and being coached to rewrite the entire thing and use fiction techniques in the memoir that I didn't even know you were supposed to use. So I think just our heart for ministry and heart to help our authors do what God's calling them to do with excellence. So we're not like a one size fits all kind of thing. We have very custom, everything we do is custom. And we just invest a lot in our authors. So I don't like to call us a hybrid only because some predatory companies have started using that term because they know it has credibility and they're not any at all trustworthy. So I would say we are a custom collaborative and we just customize everything specifically for what the author needs. And all the way from, we have a whole community where we do training where it's lives every week, hot seat every week, just on different topics. That's where Janet does her writing coaching. So we want to equip our authors to do well. And I don't know, I don't usually do a lot of, we're not hard sell at all, but we just believe in the written word is powerful and we want to help authors get their story out, but get it out in a way that really glorifies God and is not just something your mom and your dad and your friends are going to go, wow, you're amazing. People
Yeah.
who don't know you are not going to be that nice.
Yeah.
And so we want what you publish and what we put our name on, we want it to be excellent so that nothing gets in the way of that message and pointing to Jesus. We
Amen.
don't want there to be anything to distract.
Well said, Athena. And that's one thing I want to
Thank you.
mention too. Yeah, Teresa, I see your hand there. I want to respond to that really briefly.
Thank you.
That as an author who has been rejected many times, now I'm on the other side of things, helping people self-publish and all that. I actually think the gatekeeping and the quality control is very, very important. And actually being rejected is actually a really good thing. And it's like, because you want people you don't want to go out there and be fed to the wolves and get all the bad reviews on your first book. You actually want people to say, hey, it's not ready yet, or hey, we can't sell it. Sometimes publishers reject you because they can't sell it. Doesn't mean it's bad. It just means they can't do it. And so I think it's really important. Don't be hurt if somebody is saying no, it's not ready or whatever, because that's actually really they're protecting you. And so yeah, it's a big deal. Um, and like she said, a lot of the predatory people come in and says, "Oh yeah, we'll publish you for all this money," and it's like, no, that's when you kind and they keep calling you and they keep like, "Oh, you're amazing." Yeah, you want to run from those. You want to in
Yep.
a lot of ways. So, Teresa, you're still muted.
Athena, you said something to the effect that you want authors that already have a following of, say, 20,000 people.
Not me.
Oh,
That's what agents kind of expect that. Not
oh,
we
okay.
don't. No, not at all. Sorry.
Okay. Okay.
No,
Because
we don't require that.
because
Any.
I have a situation where people are telling me that there's nothing what I can write about, there's nothing out there. And so I want to, so I have all these stories. They're tragic stories with a happy ending. And it's
Mm,
a happy ending with faith. So
hmm
basically, I have a lifetime of working with the kids that nobody wants to reach
mm,
and nobody
mm,
wants to help. And then I reach them through the arts. And then I was an advocate for kids for 13 years. And the judges are saying there's nothing out there. So when I write these stories, I think, well, this is too heavy of a story to be a children's story. And so it's nonfiction. And so I have to change the facts, the name, but I can
mm,
write the situation and the tragic situation, but yet there's a happy ending.
right.
And I do artwork. And so I'm trying to get the following and the connections, and I want to be critiqued. And that's why I come to the conference because
Yeah.
I have something to offer, but I'm not a writer by profession. I'm more of an artist by profession.
Mm-hmm.
Yet I have these verbal stories. So everybody tells me, you got to put this in writing. You got to write a book. So that's my situation. And I need to
Well,
get coached and
and
have the
that's
tools to figure out how to do this.
and the fact that you recognize that and like when I wrote my first book, I'm like, I'm not a writer, I'm a speaker. Like I don't even know what to do. And that's what editors are for. I
Yeah.
Okay.
mean, editors help us take our stories. We do the best we can do with them, and then they help us polish it, make it, I mean, editors make you look good. And
Okay.
that is their job. And everyone needs an editor. Everyone needs a line editor. Oftentimes they need a developmental editor, someone to help them develop the structure of the book so it's consistent all the way through.
Mhm.
So you're on the right track. I would love to hear more. I mean, I have some ideas from what you've just said about,
Mhm.
I mean, that would be a great resource for churches who want to have outreach in their areas
Mhm.
Yeah.
for those kids that are,
Mhm.
you
It's all
know,
about finding the right people to connect with and
Mhm.
even
yep.
the readers. And so yeah, thank you for sharing, Teresa. So I
Okay.
think we probably have time for one more, and then I want to have everybody on
Thank
the
you.
faculty give a final thought. But really quickly, who on the faculty is actually mentoring or taking appointments, mentorship appointments? Yeah. So if you need a question, still come to the conference and you can kind of schedule
Mhm.
with these people and kind of ask them deeper questions. So Mark, yeah, you have a question, and then we
I
can
do.
end with you, and we'll do the final thoughts from all the faculty.
Y-
Yeah,
Yeah, thank you. I don't mean to
yeah,
dominate any time amount of time here, but this is for Teresa. Teresa, do not listen to it once again, my friend. Do not listen to any outside voices that tell you that you don't have any stories that anybody wants to hear. That is a lie, and it's like a whole bunch of little sprinkling down on your potential. Do not.
yeah. Good thoughts,
Your
Mark.
stuff, your stuff will really work extremely well in memorizing, and you also have where you can draw from those experiences, which are a ton, for what they call writing fodder inside of you.
Hmm.
Okay? And an art writer is basically an artist because if you can't show stuff, which with all your background, you have a really good job at doing it. So you are indeed a good writer. I know firsthand, and you know that I know. So you be encouraged and quit. Do not listen to the outside voices. Listen to that voice that's inside of you
Mm,
from the Lord.
Where'd
mhm.
it
Well said,
go?
Mark. And that goes
Okay?
for all of you guys out there too. You guys are
Mark,
all
Mark
your
was in my critique group and then
okay.
he got advanced to lead his own critique group. So
There
he's
you
an
go.
example of being
I'm
a
gonna
very
get back
tough
over there.
critiquer, but in a very loving,
And
instructive way.
And part about being pioneers too is that you sometimes have to forge the way, and you may be unique, like you're saying, Teresa. Some of us, I mean, you gotta be unique, and you might have to find your own audience in some things, but that may be part of it too, or find people who you could connect with. But yes, well said, Mark, and everything. So. Yeah, you guys have just been awesome. I want to go ahead and do the reverse and do final thoughts from all the people. So we'll start with, Janet and go all the way back up to Linda, and then we'll have a prayer and just kind of be done. So Janet, do you have any kind of final thoughts you want to send everybody away with?
Oh, this is
I know I put you on the
irritating.
spot. I think did Janet leave?
I think she did.
Okay, sorry. Okay, so Athena, do you want to do any final thoughts? We're going backwards up the list. So yeah.
I would just say pray for divine appointments.
Hmm.
And you never know what someone that might just say something that sparks an idea for you or gives you a solution you were looking for and you were praying for. Um, that's just one of the things about going to conferences in person is those divine appointments. And I would just say hold your dreams loosely, be teachable, be be open to constructive feedback that maybe isn't what you wanted to hear or what you wanted to do, but just, you know, be totally open and say, okay, Lord, my time here is it's yours. Lead me and guide me and watch what he does.
Well said. Okay, Karen. I know I put it in the spot here, everybody, so sorry, but yeah.
Yeah, I think for me, one thing I like to warn people about at conference is, for those of you that are attending, is to make sure and pace yourself. There's a lot on the schedule, and you don't have to do it all.
Yeah.
You don't have to take 5 appointments and attend every single class and go to every breakout session or whatever. You can take time to to go out in the woods and walk, and you can visit the prayer room, and you can just skip a class and sit and talk with someone over by the dining hall. There's lots of seats and stuff out there. So take time to just get away when you need to, because a lot of times we hit about late in day 2 or early in day 3 where you hit the mid-conference crash, and it's like your brain is full and you cannot take in anymore. So if you make sure and pace yourself, drink your water, go for a walk, pray, don't try to do it all.
Yeah.
Come
Well
back
said.
next year, do the rest
Yes.
then.
Do the rest next year. Yeah, do it. Share.
There we go. Yeah, and I would also say if you guys aren't part of a critique group, that's just really vital. I know that I have the same group, I think, of ladies for the last 10 years we've been together. And that's just like a place where iron sharpens iron and really, really helps you grow as a writer. So find that group and a group that's safe, and where you can really share and explore your writing journey with them. So the big groups are awesome, but you really also need that small, intimate group where you guys share your writing with one another and get feedback. So make sure you're a part of that if you're not already.
Well said. Thank you.
Yeah.
Kendi.
Well, what I was thinking, and it's kind of to piggyback on what Karen was saying. It's great. Talk to as many people as you want to, but they don't have to be in appointments. Just if you have an opportunity to chat with somebody, do it because we're all in the same boat. And like it or not, 80% of us are introverts and we're all talking to each other. And all of a sudden you've found a new friend and it's wonderful. And I people can't believe I'm an introvert, but I really, really am. I really am. And anyway, and take notes. You know, the more people you talk to, the more questions you're going to have. Jot those questions down. And then if you do sign up to talk to people, boy, just redeem that time. Ask lots and lots of questions. It's just a really fun time to learn new stuff. And there's no questions that are, don't ask. It's if there is, you'll be told that. No.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my thing. Just ask questions, talk to lots of people, whether it's somebody you sign up with or that you see in the dining hall or at the campfire.
Yep. Awesome. I agree with that. Candy.
Um, my final thought is remember that there is a spiritual warfare going on.
Mm.
And from about now, maybe even 2 weeks ago, it started, where the enemy doesn't want our creativity and our stories to be heard because God can use them for his kingdom. And so there are going to be, as were stated, divine appointments. There's going to be times that are um, what God can use. And so the enemy is at work. He's there trying to discourage you from coming. He's there saying, oh no, don't go talk to that person. It may even come by way of physical problems, maybe anxiety, maybe car troubles. You name it, it can be out there. So be in prayer right now for the conference, for all the speakers, as well as for everyone who's coming.
Well said. Yeah, and we'll pray. We'll have the prayer warriors pray over tonight as well. And yeah, we actually have prayer during the conference as well. If you can go, if you need anybody to, we have a prayer room for exactly that. Well said, Candy. Todd.
Yeah, especially for the newer writers, I would say spend some time in deep thought and deep prayer, asking, what is my motivation? What is my muse? You might have seen last year's or last month's newsletter. I wrote this article, "Choose Your Muse," and where that came from was early on when I started writing. It was a couple year process of really digging deep and saying, why am I writing? Am I after money? Am I after fame? Why, just being honest with myself. And what I came down to realize is that, not being hyper spiritual, but this is all going to burn, right? And in my life, I've decided that I want everything I do to point towards Jesus.
Mhm.
And so I came up with what I call kind of like a muse motto. It's a simple 3 word thing: write for Jesus.
Mm.
And it really helped me clarify my writing. One of the reasons I've chosen to self-publish is because I can get things out there pretty quickly. It's a very quick process, high quality, quick process. And I probably give away 10 books to every one that I sell. And that's just a personal choice. I'm not saying that's anybody else's path. That, you do what the Lord calls you to. Mine it has been just to write for Jesus, give away books. When a contractor came and put my heat pump in, I found out he had a couple of grandkids. I gave him 2 or 3 of my books that were Christian themed. So I carry them around in my car, and my muse is right for Jesus. So it really helped me focus my writing. I became much happier in my writing when I did that.
Yeah, just right. That's writer's right. Well said there, Todd.
Yeah.
Leanne.
Everybody's had such great stuff that
Yeah.
I I agree. I ditto a lot of it, especially for newer writers or if it's your first conference. It is oftentimes an emotional roller coaster. I see the most laughter at Writers Conference and the most tears probably for people. And so, just if you are on an emotional roller coaster, reach out to somebody. We have all been there of the highs and the lows with it. And it is a fun ride, but it is a wild ride. So be open to anything. I think I said at the beginning, I'm a failed children's book writer that found success in screenwriting. And now my next goal is to somehow publish a children's book because I'm still working in screenwriting. That's my buys my shoes and you know, feeds me. But I never would have thought I would end up where I'm at now. God has totally put me in unexpected situations. And 20 years ago at my first writers conference, if you would have told me I'd be at where I was at now when I was sitting there in tears, because why didn't they want to publish my book and give me a big contract when I walked in there in 2006, you know? And so just know we've all been there, and it'll be an emotional roller coaster. Use that prayer room, reach out to anybody. Everybody's here to help.
Absolutely. Okay, and Linda, sorry we didn't get to you more to hear from you, but feel free to share some wisdom with us.
Well, that's okay. I'm going to echo what Athena said, but I'm going to use Latin to do so. And it's from Psalm 40, verse 1. And the Latin, well, the English is I waited patiently for the Lord. In Latin, it's expectans expectavi dominum, which means expecting, I expected the Lord, which is this sense of, Lord, I don't know what you're going to be doing, but I'm trusting you. I'm leaning forward. I'm just I'm just watching to see what you're going to do. And so that is my encouragement for you during conference.
Thank you, Linda. Okay, anything else you want to say, Amy, before we have our prayer and then go?
I think that was it Barbara who was going to pray and had to step out. Was that right, Kim? Oh, someone, yeah. Anyway, I can wrap up with prayer, but I will just say too, along the lines with all this great wisdom, also be looking for other people who you can reach out to, because it can be easy to get caught up in what we're trying to get, our goals, right? What we're trying to get out of the conference. And maybe God would want to use you to bless someone else who may be struggling with something, or maybe they just need a friend. And so I think when we look beyond just, oh, I'm still not published, or I can't get this right, and look to maybe who's around us, we can find great treasures in that. And God may just have something or someone in mind as you reach out. All right. Well, if there's nothing
I,
else, I can wrap up in prayer. Yeah, Jesse.
Well, we're just going to say, yeah, I think that we just say, yeah, again, reiterating today's the last day to register. And so I'll put the link in the chat again. We say if you liked us today, feel free to invite your friends. If you didn't like us, invite your enemies. Either way, I think that we'll have a great time at the conference. And we'll have a wonderful time. So yeah, who's actually, so Kim, who's praying for us okay, Karen, yeah.
So I'm here, so I can do it.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you, Karen.
Oh, dear Heavenly Father, this was so amazing, Lord. I just thank you for all of these amazing faculty that have taken time to come and talk to us tonight, Lord. I just pray a huge blessing over them, Lord. I just ask that you be with them as they are preparing for the upcoming conference, that you will be with them, that they will hear you clearly, that you will keep them healthy and allow them to get to the conference and to teach, that that Satan will not throw any obstacles in their way, Lord. I just pray a huge hedge of protection over each and every one of them, Lord. And Lord, I think of all of the writers that are coming. I pray the same for them. I ask that you protect them, keep them healthy. If there's somebody who's not sure if they should come or not, Lord, please speak to them. Tell them what you would have them do, Lord. We ask that you are with us up until the conference, that you will be with us during the conference, Lord. And Lord, we're so excited to see what you are going to do in and through our time together as writers, and how we best can reach the world for your glory. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you guys. Thank you, amazing faculty. It's been wonderful. Yeah, we'll see you all at the conference. You guys are amazing. And then next month, on July 14th, we'll have our next member circle for when we'll have Amy be the one that's speaking. So, all right. Bless you guys. Take care.
God bless
Change
you
the
all.
world.